Matching hundreds. Hey, everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see teams with a couple of running backs who each went over 100 yards a weekend ago, as it'll be the Carolina Panthers taking on the New Orleans Saints. With that, let's get over to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome with the call from New Orleans. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, it is always a celebration here in New Orleans, and we are just outside of the French Quarter at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you look at this Saints team as they interplay. They come in playing some decent football, 5-3 in their last 8 games.
And last week they put together a 3-touchdown victory and were never challenged in that game. Let's see if they have a little bit of a letdown here.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Panthers, they come in off a loss last time out, but they've been playing better than 500 ball the last couple months. 5 wins in their last 8 games. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Ready, ready. Spike 56. So don't say nothing.
On 1st and 10, Daniels. He finds his target. It's Schultz. 5 yards on the game's first play. 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Let's go, D. Let's go.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Daniels. Thomas has got it. Complete. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. The Panthers turn to their nickel set here as they get ready for 3rd down. From the gun, Daniels out of the backfield. That's complete to Kamara. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
Good job, D. That's right.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. First carry for Christian McCaffrey. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
This is McCaffrey. So he got 3 of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up.
Here we go. Hey, let's go. I got it.
Now back to throw. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
It's a 47-yard punt, but they did get...
30 base.
6, right there, 56. Squeeze, double.
On first down, Daniels. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. I call it no gain there on the first down play. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They've been very good this year against the pass, currently holding on to a top 10 ranking at number 10.
And since this is such a good unit of covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. On the counter, here's Kamara. Powers through, and an alley to run. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
From the gun on 3rd down, Daniels. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Well, nice job on the return there. 16 yards. And possession will switch hands. 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. The numbers for McCaffrey last week. 10 carries, 123 yards, and a touchdown.
And they love what they've got in him. He's the number 4 rusher in the league right now, so you know that you have to account for him on defense, which means you can play complementary football as well. Throw the play action, get it out to the wide receivers, because they should have some open space, because the defense will key on them.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. McCaffrey on the counter. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cameron Jordan in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalized.
Ready, break.
56. Check, 56. Check.
Throwing on 1st down. Daniels. That's complete to his running back, Kamara.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
2nd and 5. He's got Smith here. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they're marched off another 15 against your squad.
Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
To throw on second down, Daniels. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. That one a first down pickup of 8.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
There you go. Mike is 59. Mike is 59. 65. 65. Now.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish, holding that to a minimal gain? Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Well, that's something of a pick-me-up. The offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. Oh, look at the juke. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the number 1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're number 1 in their conference.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Cameron Jordan has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Two minutes to play in this first half. 7-3 our score.
That's how we do it.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Here's A.J. Cole now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. .47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. 2nd and 4. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Looking to throw. Daniels. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. On 1st and 10, Daniels. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Andrew Billings busting through to get him for a loss of 6. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Schultz. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Daniels. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg.
Let's go.
The Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway.
Here we go. Check, 47. Let's make these babies proud.
They'll run with McCaffrey. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook. Go play action. Toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's McCaffrey. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Baby, get him, boy. Get him, boy.
from the shotgun to McCaffrey. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And brought down across the 50 to the 49-yard line. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Second and 10. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Cameron Jordan in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And for the Saints here on third down, an extra defensive back on the field. Back to throw. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Saints to take over. They were losers a week ago to Tennessee, but they're on top right now as they come up here 1st and 10. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Daniels throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Yeah, he's going to get this deep on the Carolina side of the field. A big play there out of Kamara, 55 yards. Trailing here in the third, and that run might just be the spark that this offense needs.
And don't you just get... the sense that he's going around not just in the huddle, but looking over at the bench and saying, ball, give me the ball.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas with touchdown number 8 on the year. as his guys are back within a single score. And that touchdown drive happened very, very quickly. You knew that they had the quick strike ability. They showed it.
And for a defense that understands that, it still drives them crazy when it actually happens to them. Fast and furious, there came the points.
Well, I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out. McCaffrey. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Back to the ground on first. It's McCaffrey. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Partner, I know my grade school teachers never would believe this, but I can absorb a lesson. I think there's a lesson in this one. He's having a great day running the football, but occasionally they're going to find a way to stop you, aren't they?
Yeah, this time the defense stepped up in what's been so far a tough game for them. Now a man open down the middle of the field. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or a man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run well.
McCaffrey. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the 1st down. Close it out.
They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. This quarterback now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Now a run with McCaffrey. And an alley to run. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
He's had his eyes on 7,000 career rushing yards, and with that last effort, he has hit that mark. What a career.
And that is the number to focus in on, because oftentimes we talk about where do they rank all time. We're not there yet. He's not knocking on the top 10 or the top 20, but over 7,000 yards in a career, fantastic.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
He's going to have the hook up to Ross. And they'll get this down to the 10. A good-looking drive so far for the Panthers, and a first down here. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Fourth quarter, you've got the lead. You have to stay in bounds and run that clock. Coaches, that'll drive them crazy.
Sacrifice a yard or two if you have to. Just go down, in bounds, keep that clock going. It's almost like he was caring more about his fantasy stats than it was about winning the game.
And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey. His 11th touchdown of the year. And the Panthers, they widen their lead.
Now, let's not forget that was all set up by the 4th down conversion earlier in the drive.
Would have been a complete letdown if the drive doesn't culminate this way, wouldn't it? If you're going to go for it on 4th down, your intention is to make sure you get a touchdown out of the drive, and that's exactly what they did. Converted, and they converted a second time for 6 points.
Let's go, let's go!
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score...
Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
Get this all day. Here we go. Set for the 60 out block. Give me traps. Let's go. Ready, go.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call.
Mike 51. Mike 51. I'm coming for you. You mine. Set.
And they take a knee. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. On the ground, McCaffrey. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. They put up their goal at the beginning of the season, and that was to win 7 games, and now they've accomplished that mission.
And congratulations to them for achieving their goal. They have to finish the season strong, but you got to think that going forward for next year, they're going to jump that number up a little bit higher.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. Till next time, we say so long from the Bayou.